Can a foam core paddle built for precision actually compete in a power-obsessed game? Let's be honest about where pickleball is right now. The market is dominated by power paddles. There's no question. 65% of the paddles viewed on my website are power paddles. Everyone wants power. The spectrum runs from power to all court to control, and 2025 has been almost exclusively about power. Black Opal, Selkirk Boomstick, Vatic Pro Diesel, Bread and Butter Loco, Honolulu Pickleball's NF series, Yola Pro 4, RPM Friction Pro, Thrive Fury, Aerial Cyclone, Luz Inferno and Cannon, Chorus Phoenix, 11624's Power Series, and the list goes on. That's what the market wants, and that's what paddle companies are delivering. When you push to the power extreme, something has to give, and you sacrifice control. That's just physics. I'm not saying power paddles are bad, they're not, but they demand a different skill set unless your style of play is banger style. There are exceptions. The Pickleball Apes Harmony line is brilliant and control-oriented. The 11624 Jelly Beans, those are excellent paddles, but I'm struggling to remember many more that amplify control over raw output. I've played with over 400 paddles, and most foam cores fall into two camps: soft touch with no teeth, or rocket power that's very challenging to control, especially under pressure. The 6-0 Coral Hybrid doesn't fit either mold. It's flipping the script with a paddle that offers a high degree of control with decent all-court power, a very good size sweet spot, and plays exceptionally well in stock form. According to 6-0, it's built around a Tectonic Core suspension system with ProPulsion foam wrapped in diamond-infused raw carbon. After a ton of hours on this paddle, I found a paddle that plays faster than its weight suggests and wins points through placement rather than pace. Full disclosure here, 6-0 sent me this paddle to play with no strings attached. No money changed hands. I'm not obligated to create content for them, and these are my honest impressions from extensive time on it. The retail price is $200, but you can get it for $180 with code MPB, which earns me a small kickback to continue creating content just like this. The Coral sits in 6-0's Next Gem lineup, alongside the Ruby Pro, which delivers a firmer feel, and the Opal, which fits squarely in the upper tier of power. If you've played the Double Black Diamond, the Coral takes all of its excellent qualities and amplifies them. Better spin rotation, improved face durability, and a more refined feel. The core architecture uses EPP-based ProPulsion foam with an EVA power band surrounding the center. On both sides of that foam sit proprietary plush power layers, specific composition undisclosed, that creates a denser, more muted feel at contact. The whole assembly is held together by 6-0's Tectonic Core suspension system, a patent-pending internal support structure that manages energy transfer without the typical dead spots you get in floating foam designs. The face is diamond-tough raw carbon fiber, a 3-sheet carbon layup with industrial diamond grit infused throughout, rather than just sprayed on the surface. Peel-ply texture controls the surface roughness, and 6-0 claims this extends grit life by 4 times compared to standard raw carbon. The frame is thermoformed for improved torsional resistance, with a reinforced throat to prevent face wobble and silicone elements in the handle to dampen vibration. It works. It's a 16mm core across 3 shapes: hybrid, wide body, and elongated, with the same EVA power band placement throughout. What 6-0 is chasing here is a paddle that absorbs the ball without losing offensive capability, giving you a larger window for placement without sacrificing spin or serve speed. My unit, the hybrid shape, came in at 8.06 ounces, not heavy, not light, just in the middle of the pack. But here's where it gets interesting. The swing weight measured 110.4, which is on the lighter side. That translates to faster hand speed, the kind of quick transitions you'd expect from a paddle half an ounce lighter. Twist rate hit 6.55, slightly above average stability without loading the paddle down with mass. Balance point came in at 23.7 centimeters, quite head light. All this adds up to a paddle that moves fast through the air but doesn't feel whippy or unstable when you catch the ball off center. Performance metrics tell a consistent story. Firepower, a composite measure of power output, scored 67, which is true all-court territory. Not a weapon off the baseline, but not soft either. Serve speed averaged 60.3 miles per hour, landing in the 69th percentile. That's about 2 to 3 miles faster than your typical control-first paddle. Punch volley speed hit 38.6 miles per hour at the 65th percentile, so solid pop at the net without being explosive. Spin came in at 2,259 RPM, also 69th percentile, well above average and right there with dedicated spin paddles. The price is $200, positioning it in a segment where foam core paddles compete. First few games, the thing that stood out was how quickly I could get the paddle moving. That lighter swing weight means transition speed from ready position to contact is noticeably fast. Counters came easy, flicks, blocks, hand battles all favored fast adjustments over big swings. Serves are more effective than I expected. I wasn't blowing anyone off the court, but they dropped short more consistently than with paddles in the same weight class. Placement mattered more than pace, and the Coral made it easier to hit lines and corners because the lower swing weight let me stay loose through contact rather than muscling through the ball. Drives in the baseline were good, but not intimidating. You're not going to overpower someone here. If you play banger-style pickleball, trying to win games from the baseline and transition zone with drives, you probably won't enjoy this paddle. But if you play a strategic game where placement matters more than power, the Coral becomes a weapon. Here's what I noticed. Mishits stayed in play more often than expected. That slightly above average twist weight means off-center contact about 2 inches from the sweet spot didn't result in the frame twist and the wild redirect you get with less stable paddles. The reinforced throat helped too. Stretched defensive blocks didn't twist much. The sweet spot itself feels larger than you'd expect. And I'm not saying it's forgiving like a wide body, but it's more generous than the numbers alone would predict. That tectonic suspension system and reinforced throat seemed to extend the usable hitting area. Shots that would have felt dead or deflected with other paddles still had pace and direction with the Coral. At the net, punch volleys were fast enough to finish points, but not the kind of pop that lets you put away marginal opportunities. I had to be more deliberate with volleys, waiting for the right ball rather than trying to manufacture pace. The face generates noticeable bite, especially on balls I could brush rather than punch. Dinks and resets were where the construction philosophy came through most clearly. The dense, muted feel at contact gave me more time to absorb pace and redirect. Feedback is there, it's not dead, but it's at a frequency that doesn't fight or jar you. Dropping your third to fifth was easier than with stiffer foam cores. The EVA power band and plush power layers let the ball compress into the face rather than rebounding it immediately. One thing that caught me off guard, how stable the paddle felt during quick exchanges despite that lighter swing weight. Normally, paddles that move this fast get pushed around when you're blocking hard shots or countering at the net. The Coral is solid through contact. That slightly above average twist weight combined with the reinforced throat meant I could trust my blocks and redirect even when I didn't have time to set up properly. Let's just say I was surprised more often than not about getting a ball back that would struggle with paddles in the power category. The Coral is built for players who win points through placement, not pace. It creates a speed advantage in exchanges where both players are moving the ball quickly, counters, resets, and volleys. You're not overpowering anyone, but you're consistently getting your paddle on the ball first, and I think the surface gives you enough spin to make those touches count. The reason this works comes down to engineering. Low swing weight gives you fast hands. Above average twist weight keeps those fast hands stable enough to hit your spots. High spin numbers mean even soft touches have bite. The ample sweet spot means you don't need to perfect contact to execute. And the foam core with the plush power layers absorbs pace without deadening the ball, so you're placing shots rather than just blocking them back. If you're someone who wins by keeping the ball low, placing your spots, and making your opponents move, the Coral gives you the tools to execute the game plan. If you need a paddle that lets you end points with one big swing, you'll find the Coral lacking. At $200, the Coral sits in a crowded space where foam core paddles are trying to balance power with control. Compared to the Honolulu Pickleball J2NF and J2FC+, the Coral has a softer, more muted feel at contact and plays calmer when pace picks up. Against the Pickleball Apes Charm series, the Coral makes defensive resets easier. That combination of low swing weight and above average twist weight helps you absorb pace and redirect. The Selkirk Boomstick, Butter Loco, and Ronbus Quanta all deliver more raw power. But the Coral is significantly more forgiving, especially when you're resetting or taking pace off. Where those paddles want you to swing hard, the Coral lets you place the ball with less effort and a larger margin for error. Within 6-0's own lineup, the Coral's power output is similar to the Ruby Pro, maybe a touch less, but both deliver less power than the Opal. The Coral is softer and easier to control than the Ruby Pro, and more linear and steadier midcourt than the Opal. And as I mentioned earlier, if you've played the Double Black Diamond, the Coral is its modernized successor with better spin retention and face durability. This paddle is ideal for players who prioritize quick exchanges and ball placement over baseline power. If you're someone who wins points through soft game control and strategic play, the Coral gives you the maneuverability and touch to execute that style. Intermediate to advanced players who understand positioning and shot selection will get the most out of it. So that's it. That's the 6-0 Coral Hybrid review. It's a precision tool that trades power for speed, placement, and spin, exactly what it's designed to do. Yes, the Coral is good, very, very good. And I think if paddles that aren't power-oriented turn you off, you should give this one a try and see what it does for your game. Would you rather have a paddle that swings fast and lets you place every shot, or one that generates power even when you don't? Let me know in the comments. Remember, you can grab it for $180 with code MPB. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.